There are a lot of opinions about the Minecraft movie. Some thought it looked horrible, others thought it looked great. Personally, I thought it was a funny movie and overall a good time. I didn't have anything to complain about. But no matter what you think of the visuals, I think we can all agree that certain scenes in that movie have just become iconic. And one of those scenes is Jack Black's Steve's Lava Chicken song. Now, even if you haven't watched the movie, the chances are you've probably heard this song because Mojang and Hyper Potions actually added this song into Minecraft. And so I thought it would be really funny to build Steve's lava chicken farm, but it only works if you actually play the song like Steve sings it in the movie. Now, first step obviously is to build something that just remotely represents the farm that Steve had in the movie, which I had a lot of trouble with because it was surprisingly difficult for me to build something that was already supposed to be built in Minecraft. It just seemed like the dimensions were kind of off, and I don't know if they actually built the things in Minecraft to scale so that you could actually build it in real Minecraft. But it just didn't seem like it because the lower half of the building, like the actual building part with the walls, was clearly an even number for the stripes on this like tapestry. I don't know what it really is, but that was clearly an even amount of blocks. But the roof had one singular middle block that was directly across in the center of the white part of that tapestry or whatever it is. So I don't really know how the frick that is supposed to work. Do they have half blocks or something? Because that is some magic that I do not understand. Now, let me show you what I mean, because I guess it's kind of hard to visualize. So here you can clearly tell that the window above these two blocks has the middle of, like the middle center part does not align, which I realized here trying to make the window that I need to have a singular block instead of a too wide middle. But that just doesn't align with the lower part of the building, which has clearly two blocks in the middle. Because if you could like make it 3 blocks wide, which I did here, but then it just gets way too wide compared to the dimensions of the movie. So I really don't know. Do they have half blocks in the movie or what's going on? Well, I decided to just fix it by elongating the white stripe just a bit more than the red stripes in each end. And I'm hoping that it won't bother anybody too much. It did bother me a little bit, to be honest, but, you know, I had to make some sacrifices for these windows to work out, so you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Now, to me, it seemed like this building would have been made from primarily wood, which is why I also started using birch wood for the lower part. I will change that, though, because I quickly realized, after adding the technicalities of the lava, that this whole place would burn down if it were really made of wood. I just thought the colors matched, and you know, the roof seemed like the perfect acacia wood color in the movie, so I just assumed that the rest would be made of wood too, but I don't think that's the case anymore after realizing that lava would just burn the whole place down. But I guess it's kind of boring to just watch me build, so here's a flash forward to when I have the like shell part of it ready, and in here you can tell in the movie that there are chickens walking around in this roof part. You can see that in through the window. So of course I wanted to make something like that, but I also needed space for the mechanical parts. And I don't know about you, I know some people actually like how redstone looks, but maybe I just make redstone messier than the average person, but I tend to not like having exposed redstone in my builds, so I tried to hide it by like making sections in the roof and then just having the actual chickens fall down from the furthest section of the roof, and then having the closest section be just a window part where chickens could run around and do whatever chickens like to do. But it's time to actually add some of the technicalities that I spoke of. Like, you can tell here that the lever is up, usually, which means that I have to make this so that the lever is up when it's in use, which means that I have to add a redstone torch to like make sure that the signal is turned on and off at the correct positions of the lever. Now, I am no redstone expert, and I know that in the movie it runs on like the top of the wood in the side of the building, but again, I just don't really like how it looks, so I thought I could make this tiny change just for my own sake. Please don't get mad at me. Like, if you're using this video to try and build something like this, go ahead. You can add the redstone as like a visual thing, but I just didn't want to. Now that the lever is working correctly, I finally figured out the realization that this isn't gonna work. Like, the whole place will burn down if I have built it out of this material. So I thought that the closest thing that wasn't, burnable was this like smooth sandstone. That was the closest thing I could think of that had like the same-ish color as birchwood. I still think birchwood looks more accurate to the color that it had in the movie, but I would rather go a little bit off than actually just burn my whole progress down and waste all of my own time by burning down my own build. But yeah, I'm no redstone expert, so I was messing around with this mechanic a lot because I wanted it to look like in the movie where you can clearly see the pistons retract and let down the lava. So I needed to find a space for one piston being the one that removes the floor under the chicken, so the chicken falls down, which happens first in the movie, obviously, and then have the lava piston retract afterwards, so that the lava runs down and hits the chicken, so that we, get our lava chicken. It was a bit tricky for me to fit it all and make it pretty too, because I've said it a few times now, but I am no redstone expert, so I messed around a lot. But eventually, I actually figured something out, and here I am trying to determine where the chickens will land, because obviously you also have to make this a visible place, so that we actually get to see the chicken burn, which sounds kind of violent, but that's how it is in the movie. So I'm obviously trying to recreate that. Now, I extended the wall a bit so that I could hide more of my own redstone mechanics, but I decided that was kind of a stupid idea to have a 2-block wide wall. So I just focused on making the area where the chicken actually lands pretty. And I saw that in the movie it kind of looks like it lands on an iron trapdoor. So I tried to make that happen as well, but I quickly realized here that this right here isn't really gonna work, because the iron trapdoor is on top of the floor block, which means that the lava can't hit that block, and the chicken is too short for the lava to hit it if the lava doesn't run down there. So I actually need to put that iron trapdoor on the top layer of the block that is in the floor. So that doesn't really make any sense when you just say it like that. I realize that, but I need to move this trapdoor to a different location for this to actually work. But I also have to fit the hopper minecart beneath it, which gets a little bit tricky because I don't want the chest that gives me my lava chicken to be like in the floor where it's hard to reach, So I realized here that I might have just built all of this a little too far down for it to be practical, but I guess that's a headache for another time. At least I messed around with this for like a hot while before coming to a result that I felt like I could accept. But here I am, having raised it all. It took some time, but here we are. I've raised it all to come to the result that I can actually accept. I still haven't figured out the iron trapdoor part, but it will come, I promise. But for now, I've raised it all so that the chest is more easily accessible, so you can actually get your lava chicken. And the reason why I have glass there is because in the movie, you can see the pistons retract, as I mentioned earlier. So I kind of wanted to give that effect with like having glass there so you could see the lava fall better. I don't know if it actually like is pretty or looks like in the movie, but just know I tried, okay? As I said before, it really wasn't easy to build these dimensions from the movie, but I love this new copper bulb. Is it called a bulb? I think copper bulb block, because it's like it doesn't turn off again unless you give it another signal, which is quite nice, I think, for purposes like this, where when you resend a signal by taking the music disc out again, you don't want the whole machine to just repeat the same action twice. You want the first signal to light the lamp, which can give the observer something to observe, and then when you take the music disc out, it closes the system down again so that chickens don't just fall to their death constantly. You only want it to happen when the music disc is playing. I also messed around with that a bit, but I think I came to a quite compact result that I can accept. I am no next mumbo jumbo, okay? I'm proud of figuring this out, okay? My redstone skills aren't that great, but I feel like this is pretty cool, right? Like, no, I'm not the world's greatest redstone expert, but we don't have to be the best to have fun. You can also just mess around with some mechanics until you like the results. It doesn't have to be the best in the world for me to be happy about my own work, you know? Oh, and if you're wondering what the torch circle in the background is, no, I'm not doing a summoning ritual. I just marked up where the world spawn is, so that potentially I can do something cool about it, but at least I didn't want to accidentally build the machine so that when you spawn into the world, you just get automatically lava cooked or something stupid like that, because I know that is something that I would accidentally do. I just know that I would accidentally do that. But yeah, I think I've figured out the redstone mechanics. Here I am trying them out, so you get a little a nice soundtrack in the background here and now whenever I try this mechanic. But the song's a banger, so I don't think you'll mind too much. But I found out that now the chest is gonna be at the same level as the jukebox, which, you know, it's not necessarily ideal, but I quickly figured out that it's not very hard to reach just back there. Like, you can stand, even in survival mode, you can stand behind the wooden desk thing and still reach this chest, so it wasn't really an issue like I was worried it would be. But now it's turning night again, which means that I have spent yet another Minecraft day, which is 10 minutes long, by the way, to try and build this lava chicken farm. Does it look great? Well, some parts of it does. Is it finished? Not at all. I spent so much longer on this than I thought I would, and I guess that just comes from redstone inexperience, because I was like, yeah, this is gonna be easy. I can just whip up a lava chicken farm real quick. It was not quick. I think I spent like an hour building this and just making it work, and I just, maybe I was too confident in my own abilities, but I just didn't realize that would take that long. But here I am finally realizing the iron trapdoor deficiency problem, lava deficiency problem, and trying to fix it. But now I have to shove the hopper minecart underneath a block that is already placed, which it's not necessarily the easiest process, but it was actually quite a lot easier than I feared, because I thought I was gonna have to struggle with that and find some clever way to shove it down there. But in reality, you can just push it from outside and it will roll under perfectly fine. I was pretty worried for nothing, actually. So that was not the huge issue that I thought it would be, which was great, because I've had a lot of other issues that I didn't really account for when planning this build. So having something that went nice and easy was actually very nice for a change. Now, obviously, we need somewhere for the chickens to actually spawn, which is what I'm building now. And if you add a dispenser, it can actually dispense eggs if there are eggs in it, and you give it a redstone signal. Now, I don't want to just make one of those redstone clocks that constantly ticks, because they drive me insane and I just hate that sound and it's constant. So instead, I decided to make a little redstone cycle here that actually only reacts when something is filled into the dispenser, meaning that when an egg is filled into the dispenser, the comparator detects that something new has been put into the dispenser and sends a redstone signal that goes right back into the dispenser, making it dispense whatever was just put in it. So this signal will do so that the dispenser only makes the clicking sound when it actually has something to dispense, instead of just making the clicking sound at all times because it's constantly active. This should make it so that it's only active when it actually needs to be, which I promise you, your ears and mine will be very happy about this decision. Now, does it look pretty? Not at all. But is it functional and smart? I would say so, yes. So now it's time for building one of the most iconic things about this entire build, and it is the giant chicken on top of it, of course. So I'm getting my blocks ready, and I'm looking for reference pictures here. I could only find like 2 proper pictures of this build, because in the movie it's not, you know, the song is a big part of it technically, like meme-wise and such, but they're actually not here for a long time. So I only had like 2 or 3 pictures to look at for references, which, you know, I made it work, but I would have liked a few more angles, to be honest. But I made this a giant chicken, and I actually think it's quite adorable. It just seemed like it would be a bit unbalanced, maybe, but I don't know. I think I fixed it here by extending the butt of the chicken. It seemed like it would fall over from where the weight was in the previous one I built, I think. But to make sure that the chickens on top of here don't just, you know, waltz out, I had to extend the walls of here a little bit. Thankfully, they can only jump 1 block, so just adding slabs, which isn't all that noticeable, should actually make it work, which was an easy fix, so that was nice. Something else actually working the first time, and here I add these French fry winged chickens. Am I the only person who thinks they look like they have French fries for wings? I mean, I like that they add more mob variation, but this chicken just isn't it for me. Personally, I just don't like it. But now we have chickens up above there, which will put eggs into the dispenser. This dispenser will then throw the eggs into here, and a chicken might spawn. Obviously, not every time there's an egg, it will spawn a chicken, but it should spawn one every once in a while. Now, to get the white chickens, which are the ones seen in the movie in this room, the original chicken and default chicken, I guess, I just used some normal eggs to throw them, because I figured out from spawning the others that you get the orange chicken, because this is technically a warm biome, because, you know, it has sandstone. And I tried to feed them to just make them grow up quickly, but I got tired of that because that took so many seeds and so much time. So I just decided they would grow up on their own, you know, in 5 to 10 minutes or whatever. Doesn't it take like 5 to 10 minutes for them to grow up? It's not that long. Like, it's 1 Minecraft day, and I've already spent like 4 Minecraft days on this, so why not just add another one? It's not that big of a deal. Anyways, I have my test chicken here. You shall be my lab experiment. Are you happy about being a lab experiment? No? What? I can't understand that. Who wouldn't be honored to be the very first lava chicken produced in my factory here? Now, this is where Hello! Don't escape my factory like that. And now you're making me... Now you're making me ruin my own build. And now I have 2 chickens on the loose. This is the great chicken escape of the lava chicken factory. It was a stressful couple of seconds, but we made it work. And now we have the trouble with the hopper minecarts, but it wasn't too bad. As you can see here, I managed to just make it roll right under the iron trapdoor. So, you know, it really wasn't that bad. But I added 2 of them just in case it would miss the iron trapdoor, because I did try it a few times, which was why there was a test chicken even in the lava hole thing. And I realized that sometimes the chicken falls onto that block instead, and then it wouldn't be picked up, it would just burn in the lava, which obviously wasn't ideal. And also in the movie it does look like there are two trapdoors just facing the other way, but again, that would make the problem with the center another problem with the build, because the center is 2 blocks sometimes and 1 block other times in the movie. So it doesn't really work with how I tried to build it in-game. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but I couldn't make it work. So I just decided to place the 2 iron trapdoors in the opposite direction, but at least still having the proper amount, you know, just placed slightly differently. But here you have a little tune, a little nice song, while I test out the lava mechanic. Now it seems to work, and it actually falls onto the spot where the chickens will be. It seems like it's gonna work. Maybe don't get your hopes up yet. I don't know if this was actually the final changes I was making here, but now I'm starting to decorate it so it looks like a bit more like it does in the movie, which has some like images on the wall of some chicken and such. So I tried to recreate that with some just some item frames and putting, you know, lava and chicken in them. I thought they were appropriate block choices for the decorations. And I also realized that this other wall is actually also open. So I opened that up as well and tried to make it look not hideous from the back, but I will be adding some more decorations to this because, you know, in the movie it's also built up against something, so you don't actually see the back of it, which is why I let myself make the back ugly, because I was like, it doesn't really matter, you don't see it in the movie anyway. Maybe it did look ugly in the back. So I just added some sandstone mountains to kind of show that you're not meant to go back here. Just stop before you head here, okay? Look at this build from the front only. It ain't gonna look good from the back, okay? Just stay on this side of it. Those mountains aren't a part of the actual movie visuals, but I just decided to add them to show that the back is off limits. You're not supposed to go back here. Just look at it from the front. It works from the front. Do it like in the movie. Don't go back here. That was basically what I added those for, and I think it is a quite effective way to show that, you know, it's not a part of the official build. But here we have the official looking Minecraft movie build, and here we have my version. I think it's pretty good. And now it's time to actually check it. Chicken falls down. Yes, so far so good. We turn this off again, and we play. And let's see here. Official cooked lava chicken. Let's go. This video was actually so much fun to make, and I got to try out some redstone mechanics that I haven't before. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please remember to like the video, subscribe, comment anything to show the algorithm that you liked my video, because obviously I'm quite a new YouTuber and quite a small YouTuber. So anything that you do to show the YouTube algorithm that you like my content would be so very appreciated. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!